Captain Joe Frohnhoefer, the founder of SeaTow Services International, began SeaTow 33 years ago. His passion was to help boaters have more fun on the water and keep them safe. His legacy continues through the efforts of the SeaTow Foundation, with over 100 SeaTow franchises throughout the United States, and his many team members based in Southold, New York at SeaTow headquarters. His passion for the water and the recreational boating community lives on. His wife Georgia, daughter Kristen, and son Joseph will continue building the dream he started. Fair winds and following seas, Captain Joe.
Welcome to On the Water and in the Field, Cornell Cooperative extension of Suffolk County's news magazine show. Hi, I'm Kim Barber, your host, and today we are bringing you our show from the headquarters of SeaTow International. First up, we will talk to Captain Joe Frohnhoefer, the CEO and founder, about how he started SeaTow over 30 years ago. Since its beginning, SeaTow International has been concerned with safety, so they started up the SeaTow Foundation that helps save lives through their Lifejacket loaner program and Lifejacket stations that are located across the country. Next, we'll learn about some interesting ways Cornell Cooperative Extension's marine program is calling attention to important issues surrounding our fragile marine ecosystem and inspiring the public to help protect our environment. One way is through art and beer. We'll learn more about this concept, talk to a few artists, and visit some galleries. Finally, Cornell Cooperative Extension's marine program will be launching a new initiative entitled Back to the Bays. This project will give Suffolk County residents and businesses the opportunity to give back to our local bays by supporting our projects and getting involved with our work in very hands-on ways. We'll talk to Chris Pickerel, our Marine Program Director, about this new initiative. So hang on, and here we go. SeaTow started with a dream and a good idea based on a decision that came down from the federal government to pull the Coast Guard out from any non-emergency response calls. Captain Joe Frohnhoefer, founder of SeaTow, talks about how it all started and about a very important program that helps to save lives.
In 1983, due to popular demand, basically the United States government said that they were going to privatize the Coast Guard's non-emergency sector because of drug interdiction, law enforcement, and an expanded role in boating and rescue. The Coast Guard was told, let somebody else do it. At that time, there was nobody really doing this. It was just helter-skelter here and there, not a fixed organization as such. From there we grew, but it took a long time. It took a lot of effort, a lot of legal challenges from other people who were trying to steal our name and our concept and our color. We successfully defended that over 15 times in federal court, and we grew continuously to what we are today. Almost 200,000 members, nationwide and in different countries, Australia, Germany, Croatia, and the Netherlands as well. One of our biggest challenges when we started up was working with the public and getting them to understand that there was no more free ride, that the Coast Guard was not going to come and get them. They couldn't run out of gas, they couldn't claim medical issues and say, oh, well, I have to get my pills, I got to get back to the dock. The Coast Guard got wise to that pretty quick, And if you said you were sick or you had problems, you would be responding back to the dock with the Coast Guard and to the hospital. So people found out pretty quick they couldn't scam the system. Around 2001, we started to notice that we actually were making a little bit of money, and we wanted to do some good with it. But we also found that there was a need out there for different programs, education, life jackets. So we decided to start a foundation. What a better way to assist the public and give back to the public here in Long Island and around the country than a foundation who would supply life jackets at no charge. So when you go out with a bunch of people and you're short that one life jacket, you can pick one up at your marina or at a launching ramp, wherever we have loaner stations for our life jacket program, and take it with you and then return it when you're done at the end of the day. The SeaTow Foundation, when we started it, expanded out across the entire country because we have our franchisees. Currently, we form partnerships with the Coast Guard, formal partnership, the Power Squadron, the Coast Guard Auxiliary, local police departments, fire departments, and just recently, Anheuser-Busch, and through our local distributor, Claire Rose. You'll see a check behind me that was given to us this year for $5,000. Last year, we got a check for $20,000. This year, we have more participants across the country, in Annapolis, South Carolina, Florida, and still expanding that program, where we are getting donations as part of the Appoint a Sober Skipper program and for the Life Jacket program through the Responsible Drinker program of Anheuser-Busch. They have to put so much money into that program every year, so maybe if you have a can of beer, 1 penny goes to it. Now think how many pennies come together, because you know how much beer there is. And that helps, and it goes back to the public in the form of life jackets and service and programs.
So tell me a little bit about locally your responsibility with SeaTow.
Basically, I'm on call 24/7, and I'm just waiting for people that need our assistance to call us, and then I get dispatched right from the office right up the road here.
Okay, and so tell me a little bit about the program here, the Life Jacket Program.
Well, basically, it's from the SeaTow Foundation. It's donated from Claire Rose, from the beer distributors, and it just offers jackets out for the public to take or borrow at their free will, and then we just ask that they just return them. This way there's always a jacket on every boat, and we know that, you know, if people need a jacket, they can always take one.
So what do you think of that?
I think it's a great idea, because a lot of people sometimes bring unexpected guests on boats, and this way they know they can always grab a jacket at local places at like here, like a popular ramp that's used, and they know there's always a jacket here.
So when the kids are putting on their life jackets, we want a couple of points to be done. So we want to always make sure, and even adults this is the case, we want to make sure that they have the properly fitting life jackets. So you always want to check the label inside and make sure that the weight is proper for their size. Of course, the kids are all buckled up here, making sure that all the buckles are continued, and very specifically the strap that comes through their legs. That's really important. You want to do the tug and shrug, which basically is having the child raise their arms overhead and just making sure that that life jacket is not hitting their chin. We definitely want them to actually jump in the water and making sure that they can kind of stroke and kick with the life jackets, and then making sure they're having fun with them.
Well, the Life Jacket Program is something we've been very proud to have here at the shop. From what I understand, we were one of the first stations to have a standout, and immediately we had a great reaction, good response from the public. We do get a big run for them around the weekends. Our area in particular has a lot of tourism, and quite often there's people that are coming out last minute with friends that they didn't plan on necessarily having out. So there's usually a quick run to have enough flotation on the boat, enough life jackets. So something we repeatedly hear and see is that people will come in and ask to buy a life jacket. And when we tell them that there's a program in place by SeaTow where you can borrow the life jacket and bring it back, they're usually kind of overwhelmed with a good feeling and want to know if they can leave a deposit of some kind. And we explain again that it's a good faith program where we just ask, please, when you're done with the jacket, you know, bring it back and leave it on the stand. It'll be out overnight. So it's an all-around, it's a nice bond for the community to have that trust in place as well as we're keeping the waterways safe.
Well, we've had a fair amount of boating mishaps in our area there between the two inlets there. They're both pretty nasty at times there, and most of the people we've pulled out of the water haven't had life jackets on and stuff, and we always wish that we could make everybody wear them. We couldn't, so when they came up with this program here, we jumped right on it because we figured, you know, even if they didn't have them on, at least they'd have them on board. So, you know, it's been received pretty good by the public there, and, you know, we do on occasion see people actually wearing them, and, you know, it's been good for us. There's been a lot of positive feedback from the public about it and stuff. And we do what we can to try to keep everybody safe, you know, and this is a big step in that direction.
Last May, I was on a fishing vessel, Pauline 4. As we approached the inlet, we were hit by a rogue wave that rolled the boat over, and unfortunately I wasn't wearing a life jacket, so I found myself scrambling in the water to try to find something to stay afloat with. And from that day forward, I vowed to never be on the water, whether it be in a personal watercraft or a clam boat or a fishing boat, without a life jacket. And when the folks from SeaTow came to me, because Lester Trafford actually came out and rescued me, so I had a close tie to SeaTow and Lester. When they pitched this program to me, I thought it was a wonderful idea. I jumped in with both feet and said, anything I can do, I want to get the word out. And it's a wonderful program.
We put the life jackets out there, and we hope that really nobody would find a true need in an emergency situation. However, shortly into the program, within a couple of months, we got a report that there was a boat explosion on a sailboat, believe it or not, down in the upper Chesapeake. A gentleman had gone to a marina with his young son, and he wanted to get an extra life jacket. Well, the woman had the loaner life jacket stand at the marina, and she said, you can borrow one. Bring it back when you're done. She said, let's fit one for your son. So there was a child size. She fitted it properly. Luckily, the man put the life jacket on his son, left the dock, and about 20 minutes into the journey across the Chesapeake and up towards the Delaware River, the boat exploded. There were gas fumes leaking from his little outboard engine, and he was motoring at the time. The explosion threw him and his son into the water and out of the boat. They were dazed, confused. The explosion, of course, and the boat was starting to burn away from them, but his son had a life jacket on, and it was the first documented save. Since then, we've had others, but that was the most important, the first one, and it saved a little child, and we're very proud of that.
Thank you. Remember, SeaTow has life jacket loaner stations all over Long Island and the country as well, so don't be caught without one. We're here at the dispatch center where national calls are monitored and automated radio checks are conducted. Raising awareness of important environmental issues through art is a method that Cornell Cooperative Extension's Marine Program has been getting more involved with in the past few years. We've held numerous Hops for Habitat art and awareness events in the tasting room galleries of some of our local breweries. The most recent such event was held at Hoptron Boutique in Patchogue. We'll check that out and also check in at a community art event in Riverhead, which featured 2 local artists who use various mediums to draw attention to issues facing our marine environment. We had so much fun at our Hops for Habitat exhibit opening at Hoptron Boutique in Patchogue last fall. Thank you to all the participating artists, Greg and Karen Rivara for providing the raw bar, and to Southampton Public House, Greenport Harbor Brewing Company, and Montauk Brewing Company for donating beer for the event. We'll be holding more Hops for Habitat art and awareness events this year, so be sure to check out marinemeadows.org for more information. We stopped in at East End Art Council's Jumpstart exhibition in downtown Riverhead to check out 2 very talented artists whose work is inspired by the sea. First, we spoke with Marie Woe, who has found a way to draw awareness to important issues through her work as an artist. For her Long Island Lost exhibit, she worked with CCE Marine Program staff to learn more about issues facing our shellfish and finfish populations. She then translated this information into powerful pieces of art. Her exhibit featured some of the species that we are working to bring back, such as the alewife and bay scallop. So we're here with Marie Woe at the Jumpstart Riverhead art show, and she's one of the featured artists here, and it's a really kind of neat story how this all came to be. I'm loving seeing how everything came together, but maybe talk a bit about what inspired you and how this all came to be.
Sure. Well, it sort of started actually the day I met Kim and Matthew, another scientist from Cornell. We went to see the Alewife run, and I was really inspired but also saddened by how they're blocked in that dam. And I just really began to feel like, wow, we're really changing Long Island. The human impact is tremendous. And, you know, the alewife are very important with the salmon and able to go from the salt water to the fresh water. And we've blocked them, and what right do humans have in doing that? So that was really the day that the project sort of launched. And so I kind of collected the animals that were most in danger on Long Island, and so the idea was Lost Long Island. And then this installation is a hand-cut watercolor installation of all these animals and plants hanging on thread. It's called Hanging on a Thread, and it's kind of self-explanatory. Yes. And I wanted to do not a preachy piece, but something that's sort of inviting and fun, and that would appeal to all ages. So they're very simple watercolors, and I just wanted to make it simple, and they kind of blow in the wind, and as the wind comes through the door they turn around and they're white on the back, so they're sort of vanishing. So it's sort of playful and fun, and you know, I've got everything, eelgrass beds, oysters, clams, pitch pines, blowfish, alewife, bats. Those are all and woodcocks, quails, yellow spotted salamanders, piping plovers. So I sort of focused on those. Then I began the series Vanishing, and I've got two names for that series. It's called Vanishing, but it's also called Going, 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 Gone. And it's large rolls of paper with iconic pencil drawings of, for example, the first one is the scallop vanishing, the piping plover, the honeybee, the clam, the quail, and the alewife. And it sort of came together. The first one I did was actually the clam, and I initially thought I was going to paint it, but then I thought, you know, the black and white, it's sort of a grey area. It's not black and white, so the sort of grey and the way it vanishes kind of just fit the project. And then these are sort of just iconic, and I put the pitch pine seedlings on a pedestal to give them importance. So it's just an awareness piece, but I'm hoping to have, you know, made it sort of approachable to all ages, and it's really fun, and I think the project can really evolve, and I'm hoping to have it unfold into different venues in the next year or so.
Carolyn Monaco was another artist featured in the Jumpstart exhibition. She grew up in Hampton Bays and creates her coastal art in a variety of mediums, including oil and charcoal painting. She also constructs awareness pieces utilizing debris she finds on our local beaches. We catch up with her as she explains more. All of this was found on our local beaches, correct?
It was. All of our local beaches. I found it while I was out collecting driftwood for my artwork and taking photographs for my artwork also, and just getting exercise and clearing my head.
So what do you think about when you see this type of stuff washed up?
Sad. Scared too, kind of. You know, it's a scary thought. We go and we clean up and we clean up, and more comes and more comes, and it's just a never-ending process.
What inspired you to make it in the form of a dolphin?
Actually, I was down at the bay, Shinnecock Bay, taking photos and video for my Kickstarter project for this opening for the show, and I drive up to the beach, and one of the gentlemen that works for the Riverhead Marine Foundation came up, and he's like, "Did you call about the beach dolphin?" And I was like, no, there's a beach dolphin. So we met up down by the dolphin and we sat there and we talked about all these different things, and the dolphin was beyond saving. So she passed away in front of me. Like, we were full on eye contact, and as she was going through her struggles, garbage floated right on by, and I just thought it was appropriate. I've been collecting a lot of this stuff for years, and it's nice to finally give it a place to be and a statement. Somebody asked me, well, why did you paint one side and not paint the other? And you come from back here and it looks like a dolphin, and then you get to the other side and you're like, oh, well, there's a remote control from cable, and there's a mustard bottle, and like shotgun shells and all these different things that don't belong on our beaches. And I just do what I can to help pick it up, make a point of it. Try and get other people involved.
What other types of pieces do you have featured as part of the show today?
I have my multi-medium pieces, which involves photography that I'm out taking when I'm collecting stuff like this, which involves photography, watercolor, pen and ink, all on watercolor paper. I also have oil paintings with charcoal, which is my favorite medium. That's more of a free form kind of expressionistic work, and I really enjoy that. And then I also have pieces on driftwood, which I go out and I hunt, or treasure seeking I call it, and find more garbage.
So I see you really feature some of our local species, which is great because I think it adds an element of awareness too. I mean, this is obviously an underwater shot that not a lot of people get to see. So I love that you're featuring eelgrass, one of our species of concern that we do a lot of work with. So
Yes.
This is just gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, puffers from being a young child, brings back great memories. Haven't seen a lot of them. They seem like they disappeared for a while and now they're coming back. Just fun fish to paint, and like the first time my son caught a puffer on a fishing rod, it was great. He came and he reels it up and it's he's like, what is this? And I'm like, oh my god, it's a puffer. But I hadn't seen them in so long, and then to see them again. But
What about this one over here?
and then the seahorse, the same thing, the habitat, with the eelgrass, and who doesn't love a seahorse?
Carolyn and Anne-Marie certainly produce some beautiful, impactful pieces. If you're interested in learning more about their work and upcoming shows, visit the websites below. In addition to several new art and awareness endeavors, Cornell Cooperative Extension's Marine Program will soon be launching a new initiative entitled Back to the Bays, which will feature a large variety of opportunities for school groups, businesses, and the general public to get involved in and help support the work being done to help protect and restore our maritime heritage and marine ecosystem. Chris Pickerell, director of the Marine Program, will tell you a little bit more of what to expect as we kick this initiative off in 2015.
Hi, I'm Chris Pickerell, the director of Cornell Cooperative Extension's Marine Program. I started working for Cornell back in 1993 after getting out of grad school, coincidentally from Cornell, and began working with constructed wetlands to treat stormwater runoff throughout Long Island, from the East End to the western Suffolk County. From this first project, I moved on to restoring marine habitats, things like sand dunes and salt marshes to underwater eelgrass meadows. Over the last 10 years, a lot of my focus has been on honing those techniques for planting eelgrass in the bottom in places like Jamaica Bay to East Hampton, Montauk, as well as in Orient. I think the main reason I got into marine science was because I'm the son of a bayman and a boat builder. From a very young age, I was out in the clam boat with my father, and I learned to appreciate a hard day's work. I think I was actually clamming before I was walking, and I remember having a fishing pole at a very, very young age. Having grown up basically on the water, I also learned that it was important to take care of those waters so that they can sustain us. As I got older, I also appreciated the more aesthetic and recreational value to our local bays. I started working at Cornell back in 1993, and at that time, if you had asked me, I don't think I would have said I'd still be working here 22 years later. When I first started, there were only 3 employees in the Marine Program. Now there are almost 50 full-time employees year-round, and during the summer we can grow to up to 75. It's interesting that this is actually our 30th anniversary. The program was started in 1985, when I graduated high school. Also, the 3 guys that started the program are still working here to this day, 30 years later. That shows you how much they love what they're doing. Given that this is our 30th anniversary, we decided to do something very special in an effort to connect communities and individuals with opportunities to learn about and get involved with what we do. We're kicking off what we're calling the Back to the Bays initiative. Through this program, residents across Suffolk County from east to west will be able to attend various lectures and workshops and special events over the coming year. Kim Barber, our outreach manager, will explain more.
Thanks, Chris. I'm so excited to help launch our Back to the Bays initiative in celebration of our program's 30th anniversary. We are so lucky to live in a region with such a rich maritime heritage, and I'm proud to be part of an organization that has done so much good for our local waters over the past 3 decades. Like Chris, I was born and raised here, growing up as a daughter of a bayman, and now I have a daughter of my own. My past and current experiences have inspired me to focus my career on efforts to engage and educate the public on the importance of our marine environment and the need to be good stewards of our resources. Through the work of the Marine Program, much has been done to help ensure future generations can benefit from and enjoy these resources. While our staff has been working on land, on the water, and under the water on important preservation, research, and restoration efforts for many years, the technical nature of our work hasn't always made it possible for volunteers or the general public to engage in what we do. This is changing, and we've made it a priority to increase involvement opportunities through our Back to the Bays initiative. We are kicking off this initiative by presenting our 30 Ways to Give Back to the Bays campaign. In celebration of our 30 years, we will feature 30 opportunities to learn, give back, and enjoy, all in efforts to enhance and protect our bays. From habitat restoration workshops and lecture series to cocktail parties and concerts, there will be plenty opportunities for you to come, help us celebrate, and give back to the bays. I encourage you to learn more by visiting the Back to the Bays section of our website and hope to see you at some of our events this year.
That sounds like a lot of fun, Kim, and I also look forward to celebrating the 30th anniversary of our Marine Program. Thank you.
We want to thank all the folks at SeaTow for hosting us. Please check out their website at www.seatow.com and see all they have to offer. It's your road service at sea. Well, thank you for joining us. If you want more information about our projects or stories, or would like to help out, go to Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County's website at www.ccesuffolk.org or give a call at 631-727-7850. See you next time on the water and in the field.
Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County is a not-for-profit 501c3 educational organization. All contributions are tax deductible. For more information on our programs or you'd like to get involved, please go to our website at www.cornellmarineprogram.com or www.ccesuffolk.org.